Welcome to Be a Topper. Today we shall continue the discussion of the previous questions asked during NEET 2020 Biology. First question. Secondary metabolites such as nicotine, strychnine and caffeine are produced by plants for their option A, nutritive value, growth response, defense action, effect on reproduction. Secondary metabolites are organic compounds produced through the modification of primary metabolites. You may be knowing that primary metabolites play a role in growth, development and reproduction of the organism. But the secondary metabolites does not play any role in growth, reproduction and development. They are also produced at the end of the growth phase. They also have no nutritive value. But many of them have role in ecological functions like defense mechanisms as well as serving as antibiotics and by producing pigments. The metabolites nicotine, strychnine and caffeine are produced by the plants for their defense action against grazers and browsers. So the answer is defense action. The oxygenation activity of ribosco enzyme in photorespiration leads to the formation of option A, 2 molecules of 3 carbon compound, 1 molecule of 3 carbon compound, 1 molecule of 6 carbon compound, 1 molecule of 3 carbon compound and 1 molecule of 2 carbon compound. We can discuss the process of photorespiration. Photorespiration is a process that involves the loss of fixed carbon as carbon dioxide in plants in the presence of light. It occurs in chloroplast, peroxisome and mitochondria. This process does not produce any ATP or NADPH and it is generally regarded as a wasteful process. Respiration occurs usually when there is high concentration of oxygen. In this diagram, we can see that the oxygenation activity of ribosco enzyme in photorespiration leads to the formation of 1 molecule of 3-phosphoglyceric acid, 3 carbon compound and 1 molecule of phosphoglycolate, a 2 carbon compound. So the correct answer is option number 4. BT cotton variety that was developed by the introduction of toxin gene of Bacillus thuringiensis. BT is resistant to insect pest, fungal diseases, plant nematodes, insect predators. BT toxins from Bacillus thuringiensis kills bollworm that eats cotton plant. Let us see some additional points regarding BT toxins. So BT toxins are certain kinds of endotoxins on which if the insects are feeding upon this BT toxin, it binds to the intestinal lining, making holes in the digestive system, resulting in the death of the insects. The answer is insects pest. Which of the following refer to correct example or examples of organisms which have evolved due to changes in environment brought about by anthropogenic action? Darwin's finches of Galapagos Islands, herbicide resistant weeds, drug resistant eukaryotes, man created breeds of domesticated animals like dogs. What do you mean by anthropogenic causes? Anthropogenic means it is caused by humans or their activities. So we can see that the first option will never become the answer since it is a typical example of natural selection. The finches of Galapagos Islands helped Charles Darwin to solidify his idea of natural selection. These birds had a nearly identical to the finches of the mainland, but they are having different types of birds depending on the natural selections over generations until they all are branched out to make a new species. So the answer is the third option, B, C, and D. All these three are due to anthropogenic action. Identify the wrong statement with reference to immunity. When exposed to antigen, antibodies are produced in host's body. It is called active immunity. When ready-made antibodies are directly given, it is called passive immunity. Active immunity is quick and gives full response. Fetus receives some antibodies from mother. It is an example of passive immunity. Just go through the options once more. So the wrong statement is the active immunity is quick and gives full response. The first portion of the statement is wrong. The active immunity is slow and it takes time to give its full effective response. You should remember another point. Active immunity is also long lasting. So the wrong statement is option 3. By which method was a new breed, Hisadale of sheep, formed by using Buchanary ewes and merino rams? Outcrossing, mutational breeding, crossbreeding, and finally inbreeding. We can discuss about the options. Outcrossing or outbreeding is the technique of crossing between different breeds. This helps in introducing unrelated genetic material into a breeding line, and it increases what the genetic diversity. Mutation breeding is otherwise referred to as variation breeding. It is a process of exposing seeds to chemicals or radiations in order to generate mutants with desirable traits to be bred with other cultivars. Many plants are created using mutagenesis, and such plants are called as mutagenic plants or mutagenic seeds. Inbreeding is the production of offspring from mating or breeding individuals or organisms that are closely related genetically. On the other hand, crossbreeding is a process where the breeding takes place between two individuals of different species. In this system, a different variety of individuals can be identified. Hisadale is a new breed of sheep developed from crossing Buchanary ewes and merino rams at Punjab. So the answer is crossbreeding. Identify the correct statement with reference to human digestive system. Ileum opens into small intestine. Serosa is the innermost layer of the alimentary canal. Ileum is a highly coiled part. Vermiform appendix arises from duodenum. Here we can see the ileum opens into the cecum. The vermiform appendix is also arising from the cecum. This is the diagram showing the layers of stomach wall. Here we can see the serosa. It is the outermost layer of the alimentary canal. So here we can see only the third option is the correct statement. All other statements are wrong. Match the following columns and select the correct option. Column 1, Clostridium botulicum, Trichoderma polysporum, Monascus purpurus, Aspergillus niger. So the correct match is given as follows. Clostridium botulicum is related with butyric acid. Trichoderma polysporum is cyclosporin A. Monascus purpurus, blood cholesterol level lowering agent. Aspergillus niger, citric acid. So So the option is second option. Presence of which of the following conditions in urine are indicative of diabetes mellitus? Uremia and ketonuria, uremia and renal calculi, ketonuria and glycosuria, renal calculi and hyperglycemia. The correct answer is ketonuria and glycosuria. Ketonuria is the presence of ketone bodies and glycosuria is the presence of glucose in urine. These are the conditions in urine which are the indicative of diabetes mellitus. Next question. Floridian starch has structure similar to starch and cellulose, amylopectin and glycogen, mannitol and algin, laminarin and cellulose. What is Floridian starch? Floridian starch is a storage food material of rhodophyceae or red algae. It is found in the cells as grains or granules in the cytoplasm. It is composed of an alpha-linked glucose polymer with a degree of branching intermediate between amylopectin and glycogen. So the answer is amylopectin and glycogen. So Floridian starch has a structure similar to amylopectin and glycogen. Laminarin and mannitol is the storage food material of the group Phaeophyceae or brown algae. Laminarin is a complex carbohydrate and mannitol is a sugar alcohol. This is all for today. We shall continue the discussion of the previous questions asked during NEET 2020 in the next video. Thanks for watching and enjoy learning.